Hey fam, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. So during Gamescom 2024, Star Wars Outlaws dropped another video of their game. Directly after the video, they sat down with the creative director Julian. I don't want to butcher his last name, so we're just not gonna say it, but they'll say it in the video. So they sat down and they talked with him a little bit about Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I will be honest, going into this, we're gonna check out a video from IGN because they clipped it. But going into this, I'm already a little skeptical of Star Wars Outlaws because they do claim it's just this massive open world game and you're gonna be able to do all these things, and from what I've seen so far, you know, I haven't seen anything super crazy, but I could be wrong. So let's go ahead and check out this video and see what the creative director says about their game. All right, so here we have a video from IGN. They did clip it, so let's check it out. Game overview for Star Wars Outlaws.
So in, because that rowdy trailer belongs to Star Wars Outlaws. And joining me now to talk through this very epic space adventure, please welcome creative director Julian Garrity. How you doing?
I got T. Julian Garrity.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a trailer to cut.
I got T while we listen to the T,
That's the
chat.
first time I've seen it.
No.
And it's...
What do you think?
It's awesome.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
The music gets me every time. I love the characters.
Yeah.
The locations look great. So from a point of view of somebody who's just discovering it, I'm very happy.
Good. I mean, can you set the scene for us a little bit? Because although that did give us a little look at what we're going to be getting up to, what is Star Wars Outlaws exactly?
What is Star Wars Outlaws? So
Yeah. Tell us,
the
Julian.
first ever open world
King Julian.
Star Wars RPG game that features scoundrels, outlaws. My favorite archetype of Star Wars.
Open world
So
Star Wars.
it's
See,
really
they keep saying it.
giving you the
They're
key
promising a lot.
to be part of the underworld, part of the galaxy of Star Wars on your terms.
I love the sound of it, because you're right, this is a brand new experience for a lot of players. We've had
Big area.
We've had tales about Force Wielders before, but the Scoundrel is so important to Star Wars in general, and now to finally play as one is incredible. And we've seen a bit of Tushar.
So like he said, if for those of you that might not know about Star Wars Outlaws, you are not playing as like this like crazy top tier Jedi, right? They're saying you're playing as like a scoundrel, right? You get to the nitty gritty of the Star Wars universe and like check stuff out. It's kind of important to know.
Oh, I've seen a bit of Tatooine. You've picked some great locations for the game, but now we're going to get a little look at the planet Akiva.
We talking scoundrels, you gotta talk about
Absolutely.
Tatooine,
So
right?
This is the first time we really dive into Akiva. And Akiva was only ever featured in a series of books called Aftermath.
Akiva.
So we're the first to take those words and to transform them into something lush, beautiful, complex.
Yeah.
And complex not just in scenery, but also in the politics, the dynamics that are happening. You'll be able to see while Kay runs around the streets.
They got fast travel points.
Mira, the main city.
It's very beautiful.
Mira is the main
Gorgeous,
city.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's also
We vibe
corrupt.
with that?
And you'll see that there's stormtroopers, there's an Empire presence.
What's all that stuff
and the
popping up on the
pikes
screen?
And the huts.
You
are
can't see it. It's
also
right under
fighting
my
it out.
camera,
So
but it's
Empires
a bunch of
and
fast traveling
Syndicate
options.
presence within the city, within the planet as a whole.
Well, we'll get onto the Syndicates in just a sec, but as I've heard from you before, speaking about the game, one thing
Okay, environment looks pretty lively in this city. Pretty cool. I wonder if you can interact with like anybody, or if there's gonna be wild stuff that just occurs and just happens to you while you're walking through these big old
he's really
cities.
proud of in particular with Star Wars Outlaws is those hubs of where Kay can get her intel, and that all starts with cantinas. Now, the cantinas that we have on Akiva, very different to the ones we have on Tatooine. Tell me a bit about how you go in designing these to make sure they feel like Star Wars cantinas, but also reflective of the planet or moon that they're on.
Absolutely. So the
Good
cantina
question.
is this flashpoint of everything that makes Star Wars special. And the approach, the design philosophy that we worked with Lucasfilm Games really allowed us to understand the simplicity, relatability, and yet difference that all of these locations can take. So for example, in the real world, you have jazz bars, you have Korean barbecues, you have all of these different types of location. So each one of these had to have a different type of vibe. Here in Akiva, it's a tropical tiki bar. So that's the vibe that we...
I respect that. I respect that it's not the same copy paste like places. So like they say, it's open world, but I wonder exactly how big their world is actually going to be. Because if they have all these different designs for all these different cantinas, are they going to stick with that where everything's actually going to feel different? Or are they going to do like what a lot of other open worlds do? Open worlds. And a lot of places start feeling very familiar and very similar to like the last few places you've been. You know what I mean?
We were going for there.
Sounds great, and it's obviously a great place to meet up with these crime syndicates and get some jobs. How do they make an impact on the game?
So, of course, this is a game about the underworld of Star Wars. And there are 4 main syndicates.
I respect that.
More,
I like
there
that.
are 4 main syndicates that you'll be dealing with. The Pikes, the Hutts, the Ashiga clan that we created with Lucasfilm Games, and the Crimson Dawn. And you, as an outlaw, are going to be able to work on your reputation with each one of those.
Wait, so they created an entire clan of people with Lucasfilms, like, for this game. And it's canon? Question mark? Cool.
Doing jobs for some, betraying others, and building your profile accordingly. So very, very involved in your personal
building your
story
profile.
throughout this
That's
adventure.
interesting.
That's incredible. So they will form a general structure that Kay can live out this story in, but how much?
Okay. This is a little bit of the map right here. So that's the hub. That's the city that you're in right here. And then, okay, it doesn't look super big. Maybe this is just one small area. Let's see.
Agency do players have to?
Cool map
maybe go
though.
the beaten path, maybe take Kay down some slightly darker.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's really big.
It 100% up to you. So for example, here, this is the first time we ever show this quest. And it's a quest where you've landed in a Kiva. Your main focus is to go
cosmetics.
Pick up a droidsmith. A droidsmith
yes, sir.
that you need to pull off this heist that
we like that.
About. 157.
Look at your pet, so
credits.
cute.
That's a lot of credits.
Bad, yeah.
And to do that,
I want
you're
one.
have to upgrade your equipment, which we're
Nix.
doing there. We're making sure that your
So
loadout
cute.
is the right one. You jump on your speeder, and you'll be able to be distracted by curiosity on the way. So you're speeding off, you're on the way. It's quite a journey, and on that journey, you're going to be able to do jumps, tricks.
Nice.
The bike is based on a motocross, so it feels visceral as well.
Right.
And you'll be able to come across different things. Like here we have an Imperial shuttle landing. Do you go and mingle with those people? Do you mess around with the Empire at this point?
I love when
Or do you
random
save
stuff
it for a little
happens.
bit
I like
later
that.
on? Because guess what? That droidsmith, he's going to be located in an Imperial compound.
Oh, just our luck. Just our luck. Well, how well equipped can the player be to tackle? That's not a compound. That's a fortress. I mean,
that's
what is
definitely a
Kay bring to the
fortress.
table to be able to deal with these kind of scenarios.
Okay, a marking system.
She's got to have the equipment to be able to do that. And that starts off with things like your binoculars to be able to scope the different opportunities. There's not just one way in. There are several ways in. The surest way to meet them in a very certain end is to go in guns blazing. Because this is the Empire we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's a massive force in front of
So you're playing a lot on stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, playing a
And
lot on stealth.
Binoculars, one thing.
I'm cool with that.
Blaster, another.
But how
Mix.
well does the stealth work in this game? How well does stealth actually work in this game? There's a very few amount of games that can make stealth actually enjoyable. Some games, I'll use Red Dead as an example. There's like no stealth. You can't. It doesn't matter what you do. The NPCs are like insane. So they say to go in guns blazing is a good way to die in this game. Well, what's a good way to live if your stealth isn't good? So I'm hoping to see some good stealth gameplay, maybe.
Incredibly important. Let's just have a taste.
Tall
of
grass,
how Kay
pretty
uses
staple.
Nix.
Okay.
She's going to be sending me across and attacking, clawing the hell out of that stormtrooper.
I feel bad for the guy.
You shouldn't. He's there. He's built for this.
Okay, true.
You take out the second stormtrooper, and now you have to hack through that laser barrier to be.
I'm just gonna say this. It doesn't really matter. It's just a video game, but I don't see someone with their fists punching through a stormtrooper's helmet or any helmet.
Be be able to get.
Who knows? She might be hella strong.
Good stuff in the middle of that fortress.
So there's quite a few different ways of engaging in a mission like this.
Absolutely.
The hacking system?
If we did go in all blasters blazing, would it?
What the? What even is this? That looks like a whole. That's so confusing.
For us on this particular mission,
this is an Empire compound, so that's going to be a real problem.
Okay.
I don't know what they're doing.
One of the conditions is that you don't set off the alarm, because if the alarm sets off, you're going to shut down that compound.
Fair enough.
You may revisit the compound later on to be able to steal more.
I'm not good with these type of things, though.
Find all of the treasures, and there you can do it the way you want. But ATSTs guarding the door. You've got a blaster in next. Do you really want to put yourself in that sort of situation?
I could take my chances, honestly. Earlier on, though, we did see with Kay's using a blaster now, but before that, she was working on it.
So there was only one and two enemies on the outside of that fortress.
A bit on her workbench.
Yes.
Inside the Trailblazer. What is that all about? Is that like upgrading? Or?
Yeah, that's absolutely upgrading your weapon.
Okay.
Because we want this to be about a resourceful underdog. And a resourceful underdog, they have one main tool that you can upgrade. You can have a charge blast, which is like a rocket launcher.
What?
And, plasma, which is the regular blaster.
I like that this feels very Star Wars, though.
Feels like an automatic weapon. And you have one function, which is the shock function, which we'll see a little bit later on.
Nice.
Worst guards ever!
Like you mentioned before, Scoundrel Archetype's one of your favorites, but the movements of
there's like a vision scan thing that highlighted all these weapons. Look at that. That's some good weapons right there.
The mannerisms, the swagger.
Give me that.
Really communicates that so well.
There's a camera right there.
It's something that we worked on Division 2.
Right.
Okay.
Those are trained military agents, civilian agents, but with military training.
So it stuns.
Here we wanted a resourceful underdog.
Stun
so
gun.
You have to have that.
Wait, you can switch from stun to kill?
All those mannerisms and that sort of swagger that you see there, that's Umberly, who brought that to the character, and she'll be able to tell you all about it.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to. One thing that I want to point out as well, we did just talk about the blaster a little bit. We're getting to see some of the action over there. Nice shot, by the way. The sound of it, too. I mean, in Star Wars, there are so many sounds that are iconic. Players,
The gameplay's very slow.
when we listen to them, it makes our
Very few
hair
enemies.
Close your eyes and think TIE Fighter.
Yeah, TIE Fighter. I'm thinking like the seismic charge.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. But Kay's blaster also has a really satisfying punch to it. So, tell me about the process for making sure that you're designing your weapons sound-wise, the feel of it, the look of it, make sure it's authentically Star Wars, but also brand new, something that you've created.
We have to get inspiration from the past, get inspiration from the original trilogy, because this adventure happens in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So we had access to all of those things. And then the pleasure is
It doesn't.
looking at that, working with that, and coming up with something that sounds new and then become its own sound. And that extends from the sound design to, the music of the piece, which I think is remarkable. We heard it
gorgeous.
in the trailer.
Hey, yo!
It's fantastic.
Anytime I
Chill
hear the
out,
drums,
bro.
honestly, I'm goosebumps. It's crazy. So we finally find our droid smith here then, I guess.
Yeah, who's not particularly happy to see you. So I'm not going to spoil the story, but the droid smith, Gadik, has a past with you.
Okay.
And he's ended up working with the Empire, so he's made some really bad decisions.
Oh dear, yeah. It's not great. I mean, he's already got a protocol droid firing a gun at us. I never thought I'd see that. But
I got a problem with a gatekeeper droid.
now that's caught his interest.
That's caught his interest.
Interesting.
There's a real challenge. There's a real opportunity. It's not motivated by the credits, but tinkering around with some new tech.
I like
That's
it.
what catches his eye.
I could get on with this guy. But the problem is, once we extract Gadik, we have to get out as well, right?
And that's where the blaster comes into its full use.
Hey, oh my God, bro.
This is going to be
Almost
part of
killed
one of
us.
those main quests. It's a linear quest, and there's a whole path where you explode into the combats, and you use all of the tools at your disposal.
Right.
Before we edited a little segment, which was a puzzle room.
Right,
We didn't
yeah.
want to spoil the puzzle. We didn't want to spoil the traversal. We wanted to focus on the real action of this
Yeah,
piece.
great. And now we're getting some serious combat because there was no chance to sneak there. Everybody's just
That's
ripped
it.
over and saw us immediately.
Let's just escape.
But this is where Kay sort of comes into her own because scoundrels, they love to improvise. They're good under pressure. And so I guess you want you encouraging players to make sure they look around them, identify bits that are useful, send
Absolutely.
nicks out, you know.
I wonder if
Play
you could
around with
switch
it.
shoulders.
Those tools, you've
I
got
hate
an
only
adrenaline
just
shot.
right hand.
If you
Or can you
recognize
peek
that,
or
it
something?
allows you to slow time, pick your targets, and it's an automatic kill.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
Ah, that's a bit more of a problem though.
This guy's got a shield, and one of your modules will be able to disable that shield, opening
Great.
them up for the deadly shot.
Was that left-hand peek right there?
Will
Yeah. Well, I guess only when you're in cover? I don't
be
know.
able to disable that shield, opening them
Great.
up for the deadly shot.
Absolutely stunning.
So it's open world mixed with linear
That's it.
quests.
Grapple hook out
I respect it.
and escape the
clear.
base.
So that's how
Make
you
this seem
escape.
So easy. I'm gonna try it, and it's not gonna be that.
I
easy.
wish I was.
Oh,
playing
the
this.
space stuff will be
There's a whole
interesting.
team, and they've done an amazing job.
I wonder how big their space world is going to
Right at
be.
the end there, we also got a little sizzle, a little taster of the rest of what's to come in the game. And one thing in particular I spotted there was some sabak happening as well.
Yep,
So
Sabak.
you got to tell me about that because I love it.
Sabak is a big part of the scoundrel lifestyle.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create our own rules, which gave us this depth of play and being able to collect special cards that change the rules of the game while you go along. So there'll be tournaments, there'll be high stakes games, there'll be
Nice.
a lot of credits to win as well.
Great. Well, I'll have to get practicing on that, definitely. But so I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. This has been incredibly insightful.
Cool.
Cannot wait to play the game, and it's not too long until launch. So
No.
Okay.
Next
buckle
week.
up. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, Julian. Next up, though, to celebrate the launch of Star Wars Outlaws,
Very
we
interesting,
decided-
chat. Okay, we got a little insight from the creative director and saw a little bit of extra gameplay along with him kind of talking about the game. Thought it was very interesting. It didn't seem super open world, but you know, they did show us a quest mainly. We did see her leaving the main hub and getting on the bike and kind of just taking off, but it just seemed like paths. There wasn't really like anywhere to like branch off or anything. We saw a random event. We saw, you know, some ships landing around your character. You can choose whether you want to go interact or not, and then that kind of makes me think like how many of these random events are going to occur and how similar are they going to be to one another. Not exactly sure. Game like visually, you know, it looks pretty decent. You know, not too great, not too bad. You know, I kind of can see, you know, see where they're going with it. Honestly, I just really want to know what you guys think down below. Let me know. I'm very interested to see your guys' opinion. Are you guys gonna play it? Do you think it's gonna be worth whatever price tag they put on it? Hopefully it matches what it's worth. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. If y'all like the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. And if you got any other videos you want me to check out, let me know. Anyways, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.